Good morning, guys. On this installment of PJ Cooks Sexy Food, we're going to be making a cherry pie. So let's get started.
Okay, so the ingredients we're going to need today for our cherry pie is we're going to need 2 pounds of cherries, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, half a cup of granulated sugar. We have 1 tablespoon of turbinado or demerara sugar, and we have 2 pie crusts, one for the top and one for the bottom. So the first thing we need to do is we need to pit our cherries. I have a little cherry pitter here where you just put the cherry right in, give it a squeeze, the pit pops out, and you have the cherry ready to go into the bowl. So I'm going to go ahead and finish pitting my cherries right here, just like so. Okay, so all our cherries have been pitted. We can throw out our pits. With all our cherries pitted, next thing we want to do is I put on a pair of gloves to do this because I don't want to get my fingers all stained. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to split all our cherries, just slicing them right in half, just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and split all these cherries. What I'm doing is I'm preheating my oven to 400 degrees and I'm putting my rack in its lowest setting. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and lightly flour my board, just like that. Taking our pre-made pie crust, I'm just going to roll that out. Okay, grabbing my rolling pin, just going to lightly roll this out just a little bit. Just like that. Just give it a little, just to stretch the dough out just a little bit. If you get any little holes, you can go ahead and just pinch them back together, just as we did here. Now what I'm going to do is on the rolling pin, I'm going to take our dough, and I'm going to roll our dough up onto the pin, pulling our pie plate over. We'll take our dough, and we will lay our dough right into our pie plate. If it sticks a little bit, that's okay. We'll get it out. Just like that. Now we'll just press our dough into our pie plate, letting a little bit hang over all the way around. Just like that. We'll set this off to the side in the refrigerator while we focus on our filling. We have our cherries that we pitted and we have. Now I'm going to add in my cornstarch, lemon juice, and my sugar. I'm going to stir that well till it's been well mixed. What we'll do now is we'll transfer our filling into our pie shell. Okay, our cherries are in. Scraped our bowl with all the juice and any sugar, lemon juice, cornstarch that's in the bottom. Now we'll go ahead and we'll apply our top crust. So we're just going to lay our top crust right over our pie, just like so. If it sticks, just work it off. Now what we'll do is we'll just work our pie crust together. Give it a little pinch as we go around. What I'll do now with a pair of scissors, so I'm just going to go right around the pie, cutting off any excess dough, still leaving a little bit to hang over, so that this way we can create a nice pretty crimp around the edge. Okay, so I went ahead and I trimmed up all the edges. Now I'm going to take the top crust and roll it over the bottom, just like this. Taking the top crust and just rolling it under the bottom crust, creating a little edge all around. I'm gently squeezing it together as I'm going. Okay, so I went ahead and I put our doughs all nice and pushed around like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to crimp our edges. And take 2 fingers here, 1 here, and just give it a crimp. 2 and 1, 2 and 1. I'm just going to work my way all the way around the pie. Just creating a nice crimp as we go. It's so easy just to create a nice little crimp. It just takes a little time and a little patience. Just work your way around the pie as we are doing here. Okay, so we created this beautiful crimp on the pie. What we want to do now is we want to create a vent hole in the middle so that this way our pie will not bubble out and make a mess. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab one of my little cutters that I have right here, my little cutter, go right in the middle of the pie. Just going to go down. I'm going to cut out a little hole from the center. Nice and simple. See how pretty that looks? To finish off our pie, what I went ahead is I just beat up 1 little egg yolk. I'm just going to gently brush the top of our pie. Make sure we get the tips of this crust, because that's really going to make it nice and golden brown. Give it a nice shine when it bakes up. You don't want to put it on too thick, so that's why just take your time and just paint it on gently. And we're going to paint the entire top of this pie. Okay, so our pie has been brushed gently with the egg wash. You can see how beautifully and shiny it is. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a sprinkle of our sugar. I'm going to sprinkle that all over the top of the pie, just ever so slightly. I don't want to put a lot, but what this is going to do, this is going to give a really nice crunch to the top of the pie, and it's really going to make it golden brown and delicious. So once I'm not going to use all the sugar that I have here. I'm just going to use some of it because I just don't want to overdo it. We want the flavor of the cherries and the tartness of the lemon juice to really shine through. This isn't an overly sweet pie. It's just a delicious pie to have, especially on a nice summer day. You can serve it warm with some ice cream. You can serve it nice and chilled, room temperature. Whatever way you want it, it's absolutely wonderful. So I sprinkled some sugar on the crust. Make sure that it's nice and evenly dispersed all over. There we go. Perfect. So I'm going to pop this into my oven. It's going to take about 40 minutes. It's going to take about an hour to cook. At about the 40-minute mark, I'm going to take a look. Make sure that the crust is not starting to brown too much. If it is, I'm going to put a piece of foil over the top to prevent it from burning, but I just want it to, everything starts to bubble up really, really well. So let's get this in the oven. So our pie has been in the oven for about an hour. You can see how beautifully golden brown that crust has come. Our juices and our cherries started bubbling up. It looks absolutely incredible. Now comes the hard part. We have to let this pie sit for a minimum of 3 hours before we can dig into it. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I hope you try it at home. Thank you for tuning in to PJ Cooks Sexy Food. See you next time.